Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel, where everything you're about to hear and see has been done in one take. I'm your host, the One Take Man. I have to admit I've slashed out on my activities for this channel this week, so I don't really have any new video ideas. Instead, I'm going to revisit an old idea and once again visit George Styles' Twitter account. I'll also link it in the description because I'm just a nice guy. As always, the questions will be read from my fancy tablet, and as always, I'm going to be skipping around, so I might not answer too many consecutive questions, or any, if at all. And just like one of the last times, I'm going to put 25 minutes on this timer. So, let us proceed. Have you ever had the feeling you were being BS'd but just couldn't put your finger on exactly how? I'm in a political party. We argue basically every day, and a lot of times I do get BS'd. Though sometimes it's obvious, sometimes it isn't. And to make things more complicated, sometimes it's obvious to me that my opponent is BSing me, or that my discussion partner is BSing me, but the discussion partner doesn't realize it. And then I have to confront him and ask, so you believe X? If so, what is your opinion on Y? They then either explain or change their mind or change their subject because they realize they got nothing to add there. So yeah. What is the biggest destroyer of your ambition? Okay, so my ambition in particular, if I can't figure out how to get to a specific point, I'll just stop it. Like, it doesn't matter how much I want it. If I can't find a way, and I will search for ways, but if I can't find a way, I just won't. You're in an argument with someone over a certain topic. Okay. You catch them using fallacies to boost their point. Does this validate their point, do nothing, or invalidate their point? Well, I'll point out that they're using a fallacy, and then I'll bring up counter-arguments. Whether or not this validates or invalidates their point, I'll say, well, I say it invalidates because, well, the method they're using to discuss it is wrong. Whether or not the point itself is actually correct, it might be, but they have yet to prove it. And because they're using a fallacy, they haven't proven it. So yeah. My dog is terminally ill. I sadly had to have. Whoa. Okay, once again. My dog is terminally ill. I sadly have to have her put down. Them. Oh, so you are okay with taking a life? Do you know what is wrong with the response in this scenario? Clearly a euthanasia allegory. The thing about euthanizing dogs over euthanizing people is that dogs are considered property, people are not. And even if we're talking about, libertarians often talk about self-ownership, as in you can do with yourself whatever the hell you want. Even that doesn't legally work because people don't own themselves. People are responsible for themselves. Just like parents don't own their kids, but they are responsible for their kids. If a parent wants to have their kid put down, that's still murder, you know? Just saying. Discussions on whether or not euthanasia should be applied to children for terminal illness, yeah. I'll get back to you. I'll get back to you on that. Do you agree with the following quote from Bertrand Russell? Do not fear to be eccentric in opinion, for every opinion now accepted was once eccentric. This is basically a tautology at this point, because I already mentioned I'm pretty active. I'm not particularly active, but I am a member of a political party, and I do engage in a lot of discourse there. So, okay, someone contacts me. I'll get back to them later. Anyway, back to this point. This statement is basically a tautology. Like, I'll give 3 examples just from politics: universal suffrage, free market economy, and elected leadership. Like, these things are cornerstones of how we live, but they would have been heretical, like 100 years, 200 years, 3, 4, 500 years ago. Like that would have been absolutely crazy. But for us it's just common sense. For us it's just this state of being. It's what society should be like. So yeah. What is the difference between a cult and a tribe? Well, a cult is united in some form of supernatural faith. A tribe is united by the bonds between the members. So a family can be a tribe, but in order for a family to be a cult, they need to also have a certain faith that only they have. Despite what is usually labeled as cults, looks like we're going down this rabbit hole. What are some other things that might fit this description? Certain political ideologies, I think. Like, yeah. I know this sounds absolutely trite given all the MAGA cult jokes that circulate, but yeah, it's kind of true. Kind of think of it. Do you think running to the illusion to avoid an uncomfortable truth or counterpoint in the short term is more expensive in the long term? Definitely. Are you able to sit and think beyond the average level of thoughts? Yeah? How often? Quite regularly, I'd say. Average stuff includes routine stuff, politics, friends, family, usual talk, what's on mass media, etc. Okay. Politics is included in average. I am still able to say that I can in fact think beyond average level, because well, I'm still a writer and I'm still going through the editing processes right now, or rather I'm revisiting it. My editor made some good points on what I should change. I don't agree with all of them, but the ones I agree upon do need a lot of work. Okay. Would you say that you have high expectations for a significant other in a relationship? Yeah. Yeah. What is a deal breaker for you in a relationship besides cheating? Cheating is actually kind of a loose term. If we, you can be in a committed relationship, but still agree to have sexual encounters with those outside of that relationship. Open relationship kind of thing. That being said, I get the point. If it goes outside of so what barriers would have to be broken in a relationship for me to say it's no deal? I'll say racism, and I'll say other forms of suprematist thought that are based in things other people can't control about themselves. So yeah, that's my answer here. Some would say it's about politics, but I'll say it's about basic human decency, basic human morality. The fact that has become politicized is kind of the problem of our times. Actually, it's been the problem of all times, but now it's highlighted. Do you see the validity in someone's opinion if their opinion blatantly puts you down, even if you know you don't deserve it? Well, if they make a point, then I'll say yes. Even if they think something about my activity proves their point, I can say, no, that's actually wrong about me, but you're right because, etc. So yeah, that's it. Do you agree with the following? Stupidity should be free to roam. Counterquote by John Green. The reason I am paying property taxes that go to schools, even though I don't have kids myself, is because I don't want to live in a country filled with stupid people. So yeah, there's your answer. Do you believe that if you wait long enough in life, the things you want will eventually come to you, or do you believe you gotta go out and kick ass to get what you want? Both, in a way. You have to make it in such a way that things you want come to you. You have to think long term. For example, if you wanna become a CEO, you don't just, well, if you want to become a CEO without starting your own company, then you have to go out, find a company that you enjoy, and then bust your ass and get yourself all the way to the top. That's how it works. You will need a bit of luck, but that is generally the path you should go down. Mm-hmm. Do you agree that the more real a question is that gets asked on social media, the less responses it will get? Oh yeah, because everyone on social media is just selfish and won't answer real questions. It's pretty mixed. Like, there are some questions that that cannot be answered by committee or answered by social approval because it's just, I don't know, too vague or too inconclusive for a large group of people to answer. But generally, social media does every once in a while give more inspiring or real questions some boost in the attention they receive. So yeah. Okay, happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, thanks for that. I don't care. Do you agree with the following quote from Christopher Hitchens? The essence of the independent mind lies not in what it thinks, but in how it thinks. So, does that mean that independent minds think in a particular way? Because if yes, then that's kind of a self-defeating statement. If you mean that independent minds think differently from how other people think, or they think independent of how other people think, well, if they think differently from what other people think, well, then the ways they think, or at least the ways their thoughts are defined, is still defined by the ways other people think. But if you have your own thoughts that sometimes overlap with the popular opinion of your area, then I think it is safe to say that you are indeed independent. If you had to guess who you were in your former life, who were you? Not exactly sure. Imagine it'd be something boring like a tax collector or something. Do you view things that require thought as motivating or entertaining, or as something that is arduous and really has its own time and place? Depends on the subject of the thought. Some things do indeed motivate and entertain me, and I really want to think about it, I really want to imagine what it's like. But then there are others that are just a chore. So yeah. Okay, what's next? You have a week for a vacation, but it can be anywhere. How do you spend it? When you say anywhere, do you mean this planet, this galaxy, this universe? I'll just keep it simple and assume this planet. I'd probably go on a round the world trip just to see if I can make it in a weekend. I won't stick solely to air travel. I'll try to get maybe some travel done by boat, maybe some by train. But overall, that's my answer. Try to see as much of the world as I can. Besides writing in your job, do you have any hobbies? Does this count as a hobby? Otherwise, I don't know. I bike pretty regularly. I was looking for a gym or some kind of combat sports club, but you know, shit happened. So yeah, I guess the closest answer I got is biking and vlogging. Can you play a musical instrument? Does my voice count? I've been told I have a pretty told I have a pretty voice, but just don't know how to use it. So yeah. Also, I could play guitar pretty well at one point, but I've since forgotten. Do you agree with the following quote from Coco Chanel? The most courageous act is still to think for yourself, aloud. Depends where you're doing the thinking. I'll say this. Overall, thinking for yourself is still something that is definitely required in a lot of places in the world, including the ones, including the civilized world, because what differentiates the civilized world from everywhere else is precisely the fact that we can indeed think for ourselves, and that our thoughts have, and we are free to give our thoughts ramifications, consequences. And for that reason, it is a pretty courageous thing to do, having the courage and taking on the responsibility of making the world change by change so that your vision gets actualized. It's not always a good thing, but it's something you can do. Would you rather hear what you want to hear, or would you rather hear an uncomfortable truth? I'd rather hear an uncomfortable truth than get bullshitted. Yes. Even if it's with things I agree with. Okay, what else? What else do we got? Do you agree that people that love doing something for the sake of doing it can sadly also be the easiest people to get taken advantage of? Are we talking an activity in particular, or anything? That's my question. Because if they're doing something for the sake of it, they probably have, they're doing only one particular activity just for the sake of doing it, then I'll say that they have a drive, they have a reason, they're pursuing that activity in particular. So, yes, then people who have strong drives aren't exactly people who can be taken advantage of. The second category, though, I think it is more likely they could be taken advantage of. Do you think that we as humans overall tend to be bad at prioritizing the right things? We are good at prioritizing our own survival. However, on the short term, on the long term, we have problems with prioritizing the well-being, a more generalized sense of well-being, both for ourselves and for others. That requires a bit of practice. Despite public transit being available, why do you think so many people still prefer to drive to work? Well, it's not available to the same degree everywhere, for one, and for another, which actually is, and the second point, which actually is informed by the first one, people would much rather have the control over their commutes in their own hands. They would rather be able to have a certain quantum of control over the environment around them. They want to be able to yeah, that's basically they want to be able to say that their life is in their hands, and something pretty small like that, it can go a long way towards that. Do you believe in giving to charities? Depends on the charity. What would you choose if you had to? City life or farm life? City life, and I actually also already answered to this one. What is the most profound place you've ever traveled to? Not sure if this is the correct term, but a glacial lake, somewhere in my home country. It's sitting right in the middle of a ravine that is half surrounded by taller mountain peaks. And don't get me wrong, the place is places mighty high on its own, but then there are places around it that are even higher, and then there is an area right beside those mountains that opens up into a massive forested valley, and it looks absolutely amazing. So I'll say that is the most profound place I've been to. Mm-hmm. Do you agree with the following quote by Edwin Elliot? By being yourself, you put something wonderful in the world that was not there before. Mm-hmm. Yes and no. Don't let narcissists find out about this. Uh, Do you agree with Professor Stephen Hawking that maybe we are not being so wise by sending out all those signals into space? Well, some of those signals are necessary for our society to function, and they're going out in space regardless. So, yeah. As to whether or not it is wise, well, that really depends on a lot of things we don't precisely have any knowledge of. If we are to just presume, then we could presume that yes, it is not particularly wise. Then again, the signals we send out require a very specific type of technology to be able to be processed. So even if people know that we are here, they if other intelligent life forms know where we are and know that we are broadcasting, it might not make a difference to them. I mean, if we were to receive a signal, and if we were to receive an incidental signal from some extraterrestrial civilization, I'm pretty sure we could recognize it as such, but we wouldn't exactly know what the signal is about now, is it? Because it was built because when it was built, it was built with a specific set of technologies. That maybe we cannot replicate, and maybe we cannot understand or decipher. We would want to decipher it, but would we then want to go out and explore them or contact them? Not particularly. I don't think so. It would just prove, hey, we're not alone. What are not civilizations that do in fact have the potential to explore us? Would then want to explore us? Mm-hmm. That's tricky because we don't know what else what other technological and sociological developments they would make from between where we are right now and where they would be. So they might already know about us. Even they might already know that Earth is a life-bearing platform, is a life-bearing planet, or a planet capable of sustaining life. Even if they don't think intelligent life exists, if they have confirmation of intelligent life, well, that doesn't necessarily make them more inclined to visit us. And also, if they would want to visit us for, I don't know, exploitative reasons, well then it wouldn't matter if we send signals now, would it? Overall, I think maybe not. Do you agree with the following? A bootlicker is a coward with an aggressor's mindset with limited to no moves. Holy shit, that is actually brilliant. Okay. Do you believe that there is a great possibility that we exist in a multiverse or just this single universe? Well, there is one pretty good question that I've heard about this. Namely, if the universe does end somewhere, what exists beyond it? Does anything exist beyond it? Are we just a bubble of space, and there is literally nothing else that exists outside of that bubble of space? And are there And is this bubble of space all space that exists? Hard to say. However, I do like the possibility of there being a multiverse, even if only to address some even if only for the scientific curiosity of addressing certain certain questions regarding quantum phenomena. But on a broader scale, I don't know. I'm iffy. I'm open to the possibility. I will, however, say that unlike deities, to which I'm also open, multiverses are less easy to deny. Oh, and I was just getting on a roll. Never mind, it's been long enough. Thank you very much for your attention. If you have anything you'd like to add to any of these questions, the comment section is wide open. And I think I already told you to like this video if you enjoyed it. And if you want to see when the next video comes out, then go ahead and subscribe. Maybe also ring the bell or do whatever else YouTube will require. Until next time, I have been the One Take Man.